Santiago Ponzinibbio versus the man from Guyana, Carlston Harris. Man, this is a really interesting matchup because to me, these are two completely separate approaches of martial arts right here, of mixed martial arts that are going to clash and collide in a matchup that could either have a very quick finish or can be a long drawn out 3-round war, man. So let's start with the Ponzinibbio side of things. He opens up as a dog, which was a little surprising, plus 100 dog, minus 120 favorite for Carlston Harris, though he's way more experienced, has a lot more wins. I mean, they're the same size on the feet. I think he'll give Carlston Harris a way harder challenge. It's just if Carlston Harris can get the fight to the ground, things might get a little sticky right there. So what are your thoughts?
I was interested to see why a lot of people are banking on Ponzinibbio being the underdog on this fight, Derek, because with the power and the pressure that Ponzinibbio presents, he is a very, very dangerous downhill fighter, right? I mean, he does slow down halfway through the fight, which is where I can see Carlston Harris having his greatest advantage. But with how long and rangy Carlston Harris is, but not necessarily destructive on the feet. He has power, he has ways to get it done, but he's a lot more talented on the ground. That's where he's able to get some work in. I see Ponzinibbio going inside and then dipping out, cutting corners, and continuously putting the pressure on Carlston Harris.
You know, I'm going to push back on that, though. I think Harris is actually really dangerous on the feet. I just think that he's more of a, in a weird way, a sharpshooter. Even though it doesn't feel sharp when you watch it. Like, it feels clunky. It just feels like mallets raining down on you. But when he hits, like, it's thudding shots, right? He just hits at a lower clip than Ponzinibbio, who will sit down on the shots. He'll get and box in the pocket with you. And I think it's that constant volume approach from Santiago Ponzinibbio that overwhelms people. If you're looking at if you're looking at the numbers right here, you're clearly seeing it's all Carlston Harris when it comes down to grappling, right? Ponzinibbio is just going to try to keep the fight off of the ground. If you're looking for a size advantage, these guys are on paper, they're the same size, but you have to admit, Harris probably is going to have a pretty sizable advantage right there, right?
Absolutely, Derek. When you look at Carlston Harris, you instantly think long and rangy. You're not thinking the same thing with Ponzinibbio. He's a little more stocky, a little bit bigger of a build, but Harris, he has the ability to keep things at distance, which I think might give Ponzinibbio a lot of trouble.
So it does make sense now that I'm looking at my sheet right here, though. Ponzinibbio, 1-4 in your last 5. Like, that's not good, man. That's not good momentum going into this matchup. 3-2 on the other hand for Carlston Harris. And if you even look at a couple of those fights, man, it's fights that Harris wasn't really winning, but he was able to just snatch up something quick from a submission perspective and able to just kind of wrap it up super quick. So I do think that there is going to be finishing danger here, which is why we got to dive into the numbers again. 2.5 rounds is the over, minus 130 for the over, plus 100 seems to be slightly lucrative for a fight that really could be under 2.5. What do you think?
Especially for under 2.5, Derek. Only, 2.5 minutes left in the entire fight. Mm-hmm. And with how Carlston Harris is able to finish a lot of his fights, I mean, but take out the Chaos Williams knockout, right? But you look at all the other ones, he is finding ways to be able to make things move. And with the power that Ponzinibbio presents, man, I'm telling you, like, if he's able to walk down and be the hammer that Ponzinibbio is, we could see an early night right here.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I'm glad you say that. And this isn't the double down and let me just agree with everything you say show. But I really do think, I was like, Ponzinibbio could break him. He could break him, beat up the body a little bit, beat up the head. And we could see a finish here on the side of Ponzinibbio. So when we're looking at the numbers, man, it's kind of interesting to me that the TKO prop plus 235 and the decision prop plus 250, you're seeing one a little bit higher than the other. And I mean, listen, man, these are just odds, right? But that strikes me as the odds. We're all in consensus here. Why is the line what it is then? When you see something line up like that and the logic is all clicking, but then you look at the line and you're like, but he's still a dog. How does this make sense? Do you have any reasoning, or are we just reading in between the lines, if you will?
I think what it is, folks, is there might be a lot of, and I don't want to, if you're watching this show, I know you're not one of these guys, but if you do know one of them, go put them on to some game right here. But I'm sure there's a lot of money just coming into Carlston Harris off of other bettors, just being on how things have gone lately. I mean, if you look at him on paper, you're going to think this guy's going to be a killer, going to be able to get things done. And with how bad Ponzinibbio has done in his last 5, I think there's a lot of emphasis going that way.
Yeah, fair weather fans. I totally understand. But Ponzinibbio, 66% takedown defense. Bad news, 29% takedown accuracy on the side of Carlston Harris. So if this is a purely on the feet type fight, I love Ponzinibbio in this spot. Think it could definitely be a close fight. Watch out for the Carlston Harris grappling. Dude he's a stud, man. He's very good. But it is clear the Argentine dagger, Santiago Ponzinibbio, is your play. The final touch though, AJ, talk to the people. Are we just going money line, or do you got a prop for him?
Woo, Ooh, Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think you take him at that money line, that plus 100 as a dog. I can see a KO. I can see a decision. That's why the odds makers have it so close right there. But the best money, plus 100 money line.
Dog play consensus pick. You got to love it, folks. Cash that one on in.